Hello, stamping friends. This is Jenny from Celebrate the Journey. It's Monday and it's time for our regular Facebook Live. When you don't turn your phone on except for once a week, it goes kind of crazy on you. It tries to send you all the messages you didn't get all during the week. So I was trying to get the camera going there. So today we're going to make two really simple cards. I put this here so you would see. This is called Textured Notes, which is a lovely stamp set. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. But what's the best about it is if you buy the bundle, you get these frames. You know, the circles that we like so much from Spotlight on Nature, these are rectangles, and each one has a different texture to it, like basket weave, stars, that kind of looks like bamboo, stitches. So I just think these are so pretty. And, you know, real versatile for whatever you want to do. Now, of course, you can just buy the dies separate if you don't care for this stamp set. That's up to you, but I like the stamp set too. So if you get it as the bundle, you get that little 10% discount. And we're going to pair this with, I guess, my new obsession is this paper, the Beatiful Gallery. And I know a couple of you said, nah, it's not my cup of tea. And really, the colors are not my favorite, but I've gotten to where I really am enjoying using these papers. So I thought we'd just use them again. It's so pretty. I've seen where people just went to, you know, a thrift store and got a square frame and put this in the frame. It's actually lovely, isn't it? It looks like you could have painted it yourself. So the paper we're going to use today, we're going to use two different ones. Let's see if I can. I'm going to show you one with this. Should have pulled these out. I've seen so many pretty ones that other demonstrators have made cards with. So I'll probably be making some more this afternoon. We're going to use this one. I love the pine look of there and the water, the trees. And, well, it's not this one, but it's one very similar to this one. So maybe I've used all of them. And then we're going to use this one. So I went ahead and just cut a couple of the pieces, but we're going to use our frames to run them through the cut and emboss. Now I took a piece of pecan pie and used the largest frame die, the one that looks like basket weave, and we're going to use that as our background. But then this is going to be what we cut next. And we're going to, let's see if I know which ones I'm going to use. We're going to use this die that has kind of what looks like squiggles or X's. We're going to put that right around there. And then we're going to use one down. We're going to skip one and go to this one. So we're going to end up with cutting two at the same time. Now that's means it's kind of tricky, so my suggestion is that we use this repositionable tape to keep them in place. Or if you've got Post-it notes, you can do that. I hope everybody had a nice weekend. We did. It was so quiet. So we decided yesterday to go to the park and take a walk. And as soon as we got there, it started thundering and lightning. So we turned around and came home. We didn't need to be out in the thunder and lightning, did we? So now we're going to have 2 die cuts. We can put those to the side. Probably can use those again. You can reuse these a couple times before they lose their stick. Now, if you want to save this and use it for something, you could, but I don't know what I would do with it, so I think we'll just let that go. And now we've got our pieces. Now this is, I told you, these were going to be quick and easy. Now, the one thing I don't like about these is they do not necessarily match up to the size of our card, our regular 4 1/4. Now, what you could do is just go ahead and do like 4 1/8, and then it would work fine. I probably will start doing that. I don't know why I didn't do it in the first place, but so to kind of compensate for that, I'm going to give it a little interest by adding a piece of mossy meadow behind here. We want to try to get it close to the center. I don't know where my pencil is. I'll just use an ink pen because it's going to get hidden. It won't. My pencil's over on the table. Now we can line this up in the center, and you don't really notice how it's kind of off, wonky a little bit. I know the European cards are different measurements than ours. So these dies might work better for them. That might be, I don't know. You never know why things are the way they are. And now we can put this down. We're going to glue this one down. And we're going to pop up the inside. You know, this is similar to that double time stamping, where you stamp and then cut out the pieces and layer them together. I think that's called double time. Now we're going to put this on with dimensionals. I think both of these cards that we're making today will, be really nice, all occasion kind of cards. Of course, you could change the sentiment. You have lots of choices with sentiments here. I'm going to show you a new sentiment stamp set. I always say I never have enough words. Well, this stamp set's called The Right Words, and it's got lots of nice sentiments. All the right words. Now, do you see how popping that up gives it just a little texture, dimension? Now we need a sentiment, and I did take this one from The Right Words. It's The Thinking of You. And we will stamp that with Early Espresso because I like dark ink for my sentiments. Doesn't matter that I stamped that crooked because we're going to cut it out. We're going to use the smallest die. Now this nice long one would work for a long sentiment. This one will work just right for our sentiment, our little shorter one. Now we'll run that through. Pull that out. I think these are so nice and quick and easy. Could make several. Now I want to put that at an angle, hanging off. So we'll put a dimensional on one end, and then we'll just use our Tombow on the other side. Hold it down. Let's see, do we want to, I think there. And then we've got this ribbon that's kind of off-white. It's the Very Vanilla, and it's got that little stripe down the middle. Just make a little knot. That looks too short. No, too long. We'll make it shorter. We'll put this on with a glue dot. Keep misplacing these little stickers. Put two on there just to make sure it's nice and strong. Isn't that quick and easy? And look how pretty. It doesn't even need bling or anything. I think it's pretty enough as it is. I'll probably put a piece of mossy meadow on the inside. We'll see how now that came out real pretty. So the next one we're going to do is we're going to use this that I thought was so pretty. It's I think that's Lost Lagoon in my opinion. And so this is 4 1/8 and 5 and 7/8. I have to double check that one. No, 5 and 2, 3, 5/8. So that will just go on for our background. Now, if you wanted to we're going to do a die cut here from the Beautiful Motifs, which is a part of this Beautiful Gallery if you buy the suite. And we're going to use this die. Well, so if you wanted to cut that out of the middle of your paper, you could, and then you'd be saving a little cardstock, but I think I'm just going to cut it out of another piece. So we'll go ahead and glue this down. And now we're going, rather than doing a double cut, we're just going to do a single cut on this one. And we're going to use, you have to have fingernails here. They sure want to stick. This one, it kind of looks like bamboo or I don't know, something similar to that. And we'll just line that up as close to the middle as we can. There we go, and we'll run that through. Now, rather than put this on with dimensionals, I'm just going to let this one be all flat. So we'll go ahead and adhere both pieces with Tombow. It's not quite centered, but I don't think anybody's going to notice that. It's a little too much right there. Let's see if we can't spread that out. There we go. Pull that up there. Gotta pull that to the side here. There we go. Now we'll put this one down, just no dimensionals. But look how pretty that, it just gives it a nice little embossed texture look. I'll put a little drop of glue there. And again, this is pretty enough. You do not need any embellishments on this one. But we are going to cut this kind of fern-looking piece out of some Lost Lagoon. We have a little bit of pieces to poke out. So I was thinking about how kind of expensive things have gotten, and of course I think the cardstock and stamp sets and all have gone up in price a little more than I would prefer. But then I was thinking that these are not, other than the paper, that they're something you can keep forever and use for a long time. And it still allows you to give your friends a little gift that maybe doesn't cost quite as much. So if you're like me, you don't need a gift anyway. A card is just enough to make me happy. I had to make sure I really didn't make this card upside down, because you know I do that sometimes. I'm going to use my silicone mat here to pick up some glue. And so we'll just pick up a little bit of Tombow on all the little ferny pieces. Doesn't that match those trees over there so well? I think it matches pretty good. Now we need a sentiment. This time we're going to use basic white, and I picked You've Been on My Mind. Just a nice thinking of you card. Surprisingly, this does match our 1-inch punch. I was afraid the little 1-inch would be too tiny, but it's not. We can put this on here. That'll also kind of help hold down this little piece just in case it didn't get enough. I like the branches to be a little poked up there. It gives you some dimension. And now I've got some mossy meadow twine. And we'll make, it's a nice little piece. Let's make a double bow. That's actually a triple bow, but that's okay. If I can get that through there. I love this bow maker. Oh, my fingers aren't working today. And I'm sorry, I'm not on camera, so you didn't get to see my fingers not working. Now we're... And we can put that little bow right there. Be just perfect. And again, no bling or glitter, nothing on these cards. I think that the simpler, the better. Okay, 2 simple cards, just like I promised. So we made this one and this one. Now you remember the other day we used some of the paper here with the house, and I had that left over, so I did that one going this way, and I thought how pretty that came out. So it doesn't need anything on it either. So leaving, using a dimensional or dimensionals to pop that up gives it a little more texture, but leaving it flat gives it a nice little sophisticated frame look, I think. And then this one. So maybe I'm going to convince you to get the Beatiful Gallery DSP because I think it's lovely. And I'll be showing you some other cards made with it pretty soon. All right, thanks for joining me this Monday, and I will see you next time.